Okay, day 22, let's do this. It is before 5 p.m. Go me. Um, Had a pretty full day of clients and meetings and have yoga teacher training here in a bit this evening and on Saturday and Sunday, and then a pretty full week next week. But I, even just saying that, I'm thinking back to one of the heart math lessons because I've been digging back into that content. Kind of mentioned yesterday, I think that I sort of like did the bare minimum through this little training. And so I'm going back and rewatching some of the videos. And I think that part of it is I'm not always good at approaching things with beginner's mind. And so I'm like, yeah, whatever, I know this, blah, blah, blah. Move on to like the things that I don't know. And in that, I can miss really good things. And I think sometimes ways of framing things where it's like, I think therapists can sometimes overcomplicate things. Not to say, like, yes, there's many, many layers of things, and not to say it's like, well, duh, just figure it out yourself by any means. But for instance, the way that this heart math training, which is not just for therapists, like there are some mental health professionals, yoga teachers, nurses, like lots of people who do it as coaching, because it's essentially, teaching heart rate variability practices and stress management, but ways that it's talking about stress that are just simple and straightforward. Like, what are the energy draining things that happen, and what is your attitude or emotion about it, and then what do you tend to do with that, what's the impact of it, and versus like energy regenerating or renewing things that happen, like getting a nice phone call from a friend and then having this feeling and this being the impact of that. So, just looking at like how our mindset is so critical with things, that there are stressors are always going to be there. So we will be much better served if, we have to be human with ourselves. We can't just like expect ourselves to set up a completely chaotic schedule and home and whatever and to somehow cope well with that. So yes, it's about being realistic, but I do know that sometimes I can work myself up into like this frenetic kind of headspace when I'm like, oh my God, I got all these things on the calendar, and then I got these the next day, and then I got these the next day, and then I got these the next day. And instead of just being like, what's in front of me right now? Like, what does today require of me? What is the next right thing? So I just really like that. And I like kind of going back to the basics. So I'm really enjoying that. And one of the resources that I discovered, oh, my little alarm is going off reminding me that it's time for me to do this. So I will do it right after the video. One of the resources that I discovered when I started to kind of like dig into all of this again yesterday was this book. This is not one of the official heart math publications. There are a bunch of those. I can't even remember the name of this book. I have to open my Kindle, so I'll try to remember to put it in the video description. But it's called something like something 365, and like heart coherence or whatever. And the 365 refers to 3 times a day for 5 minutes each time, 6 breaths a minute for those 5 minutes. So that's where the 3, the 6, and the 5 come from. So basically you're taking 10-second breaths, like 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. You're doing that 6 times a minute for 5 minutes. You do it in the morning as early as you can, upright, so not lying down in bed. You do it maybe 4 hours later, and then you do it sometime in the afternoon. And I've only just started poking around at the book a little bit. It's only like 60 pages. I'm like, does it really count as a book? If I finish it quickly, it doesn't have to count as one of my books, right? It's more of like a pamphlet, I think. But that joke aside, yeah, so I think that from the reviews that I read, he does a really good job at kind of like conveying the science behind it, and also just keeping it very simple. So I'm excited about that. This will be my number 3 of the day practice. And I really like that because then like the meditations that I was doing, as I was kind of saying the other day when I was talking about all the different purposes of meditation practice and how I'm really drawn to like the energy and light and like spiritual ones, which is what I'm doing in the heart centered. Funny that it's called heart centered, the Danielle Laporte thing I was talking about, because now I'm all like heart math, heart based living. It is all connected. I'm sitting here looking at this lovely flower essence spray called Sacred Heart. I think I'll just spritz myself. It smells so good. These are like, it's a mix of flower essences and essential oils, and it's like spray 4 times daily in mouth or around body. So you can ingest them. So you can just like spray yourself with your mouth open. Probably tastes a lot better than Chloraseptic. Okay. Wow. So clearly one thing that is also true is I have been a little frenetic with my use of the computer today, and probably honestly in recent days. So I'm holding myself accountable for that here. I don't feel super distressed about it, which is really like the barometer for me, because I do get to those points where I just feel like the headless chicken or like the ping pong brain. I don't feel like that, but I do want to be mindful of it, of jumping from one task to the next and doing all the things. So that's probably why I'm talking a million miles a minute, in case you're wondering. But this heart coherence training is proven that it can shift your baseline, and it can help you in all of the domains, like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The mentally would include concentration and being able to, do wise decision making and all of those wonderful cognitive faculties that us folks with ADHD-ish brains struggle with. So that's my thing I'm excited about right now. And I think that's really all I have for the video today. So I will see you guys tomorrow.